This is a photo of a little boy by the name of Bandile Skosana, a 4-year-old young man. You can read more about this in the link below. My blood ran cold when I read it, and I felt nauseous, and I wish I can say that it was because this is such an uncommon occurrence. But sadly, in this proudly South Africa that we live in, the violent murder of our young people is just a common occurrence. And especially in this time where there's so many things we're dealing with, and this was hard for me to just imagine and just live through in that moment, and just thinking, what is it that we've become? This country that is known as the rape capital of the world, this country that is where men murder women at an astonishing rate every day, where corruption is off the charts, where right now we're in just a lockdown of unheard of proportions. Our lives are completely thrown upside down, and our freedoms have been taken away, and we're kind of wondering why. I must be honest, if you ask me to give up my freedom for something like this, to stand up for Bandile, then I would probably be the first in line, and I would lead a movement to say, by all means, do this. What is astonishing is that this is not on every single news feed. This is kind of something that I stumbled across, and I'm in the business of young people and young boys, and looking out for mentorship opportunities. So why on earth is this kind of hidden out there? It is, in this time we are so occupied with so many other things. We are occupied with, we are angry about not being able to smoke and getting access to our, drinking, and schools are opening up, and we're just like all so angry about many things, and we're occupied with masks and no masks and COVID-19, and in all of this, the story kind of slipped in and just disappeared. It's just not good enough, and this should be enough for all of us. I want you for a moment to just picture yourself, this little 4-year-old. Go back to that photo if you have to, and just think of that beautiful little face, the promises of this life. Think of this last moments of this kid, being snatched away by adults, men, but the men that were supposed to protect him. Imagine a 4-year-old and looking up at men and going, there should be protection. Being snatched away. Imagine the fear and the confusion of what's happening in my life right now. Why are these people taking me? Why are they hurting me? Why are they touching me so hard? And just maybe crying out, and just crying out for his mommy or his daddy or something like that, and just that absolute confusion and the horror that he's going through in this space, and just being dragged away into a veld somewhere. And then just imagine as a 4-year-old just the shock of something that you don't understand, being stabbed. I mean, how many times this little boy's body was stabbed? And imagine that last moments when you're looking up at someone that's supposed to be a protector, and someone that's holding a big rock, and in that last moment, as it just crushes the life out of you, imagine that 4-year-old. Have you had enough? You want me to stop? Seems that enough is just not something that we're used to. We just like, nothing seems to be enough for us at all. I mean, why is this not enough? Where were we in this process? We're looking at our political, I don't want to use the word leaders anymore, I'm just looking at the heads of political parties, and I'm thinking, where are you guys? You're all fighting for a spot in the limelight right now. Where were you for this little kid? Where were you when this was supposed to be protected? All these guys that are just like, wanting to step up and, shine in the moment. The bigger guys out there that's supposed to be, that's supposed to have our backs in this time. And you're just a bunch of absent fathers all over again. Where are the media in this? Guys, I mean, you're feeding us these stories, and we are, we're cutting it in lines and sniffing it up because we are so occupied with just all of the stuff that goes on around it. But why is this that it's come in as a story, and there's no one out there that's looking at this and going, oh my goodness, it leaves me nauseous, it leaves me with such emptiness. I mean, this shouldn't disappear. This should become something that everyone talks about. This should be the reason why we're locking down. This should be the reason why we just stop everything. Why our freedoms are taken away. Why our economy is, being brought to its knees. This should be the reason why we're doing it for that 4-year-old. And then, it's so easy to just like move along. And to the police and the army, I don't even know who is in charge of that. Becky, I presume it's you, but where were you guys? And I'm not by any chance saying that you were responsible to stop this from happening. I mean, that was my job and your job. I mean, as individuals in the society, that's what we were supposed to do. But the police right now, rather than running out there and locking up gogos that are trying to provide for their grandchildren, or bamboozling women into the back of police vans because they were running, or locking up surfers, or chasing after smokers. I mean, it's your job now to find these people. Why are these people not in force in that community right now looking for these men? But it's easy to point our fingers at the police and the political leaders and people, because frankly they make it easy right now. But where are you and me? Where were we in this space? Where were we in the life of that 4-year-old when he needed us most? And we were crying out for help. Where were we? Where were we in the lives of the men that did this horrible, unthinkable, unspeakable act? But where were we when we were supposed to mentor them? Perhaps preventing this. And so we have to ask ourselves the question, what is going on here? Why is this not enough for us? I really want you to take a moment and just consider it. I don't want you just to like this post. Liking this post will make absolutely no difference. But it's time that we start making a difference. It's time that we start saying, this is enough. We cannot continue like this. Because what we do know for sure is that this is not the last story. There are so many kids that have been ripped out of our lives and out of our communities by acts like this. And it's not stopping. It's been continuing, it's been escalating, it will keep on happening. And so where are we? You and I, where are we? What are we going to do about this? And today I want you to just take a moment. The very lives of our children depend on this. There's no way we can go back and fix this for Bandile and for all the other kids out there. There are so many of them. But there's something that we can do for the next child, perhaps. And it's not just my responsibility. Where are all the good men? Where are we as a society that's supposed to step up and protect the vulnerable, to protect those that cannot speak for themselves and defend the rights of the poor and the needy? Where are we in this space? Are we too busy? Don't come with I'm too busy. Go and stand in front of the mirror and say to yourself, this is not a priority for me right now. But the next time it happens, it might happen closer to home, and a bit closer to home, and a bit closer to home, and then what? Just take a moment and imagine the last moment of that 4-year-old. And then tell yourself that his life is not worth you taking the time today to just think this through and think, what am I going to do about this? And I want to challenge you. I want to challenge our political heads of parties, and I want to challenge the media. I want to say to you guys, it's not acceptable that you are ignoring this. I'm saying to you that you should do more. You should do better than this. I mean, sadly, I don't expect any one of the political leaders or political heads of parties to come up and say, like, listen, we're going to take this course because this is worthwhile doing something about. Maybe you know someone. Maybe you know someone in the media, or maybe you are someone in the media that can just take this and just start putting the airwaves on fire, that we can bring this back and just having a conversation around this. This cannot go on. We cannot keep on losing our children to this. What is this doing to us as a society? We have to start doing something. And so my challenge to you today is do something. If this is not bothering you, then move along. But then don't complain about our country. But otherwise, you have to start investing in something. And if you can't give of your time right now, then invest financially. Help us to put mentors in our vulnerable communities then, if you're not prepared to step up. And if you can, we are looking for faithful, available and teachable men that can be out there and that can mentor these young boys. That can mentor boys, that we can stop ignoring our young people so that they can grow up to be adults that are committing these horrendous crimes. We have to do something. This has to be enough. I don't want to just leave this and let's move on with our lives. I'm challenging you today to take a moment. Take a moment for Bandile and for all the other kids that we have neglected and ignored. And think, how can we change this? And do something meaningful. And if you're not sure what to do, then contact us. And we'll find a way to do this together. But we have to do something. Because enough is enough.